All right, welcome back, Brew Crew, to another episode of Shedding Your Skin. Today, unfortunately, it's a pre-record. It is what it is. I'm going to watch the Penn State football game with my dad, who I've only seen once since they came back from vacation, a couple weeks ago. So I figured that's more important than scheduling a guest and not seeing my family. So I'm here alone. So you'll get some updates and things like that. But as usual, I'll start it off with support USARK. And I'll put up the logo. Boom. I am a bronze member. And they fight for our rights as reptile keepers. And it's really important with all the stuff that's going on now that we continue to support them and support your local herpetological societies. Just so we can not only educate people, but fight legislation that's at the local, state, and federal levels, because that can ultimately impact our ability to keep these animals that we've all come to love and enjoy. And of course, my dog has found the squeaky, so hopefully it's not too bad and I can steal it from her before this is over. But we'll see. And if she keeps it and squeaks it, I apologize. But I'm ignoring her, so it is what it is. There we go. I got it. She can be mad at me. All right. So with that being said, support USARK. My renewal is coming up in April. I still haven't got my shirt. Not that the shirt's the biggest deal. We're supporting advocacy for our hobby. Okay, so it's probably been a while since I gave an update on the clutch I hatched out, or at least the survivors that are still here. So now I changed around my racks, moved some animals, wired this one up. So forgive me if I go to reach for something and it's not exactly where I think it is, and I have to look. So there we go. All right, so this one, it's just a pastel. He's had his first shed. He hasn't eaten yet, but once he gets 3 meals in him, and I'm comfortable with offering him up, he will be for sale. He will be relatively cheap. So hopefully, somebody local, wants him. Maybe somebody's looking for a pet, something like that. But he hasn't eaten yet. He still looks somewhat decent, so I'm not too worried. I might have to assist feed sooner rather than later, just to see if I can get him started. But I should have ASFs, hopefully, dropping with the next week or so. So I'll have something that'll be more nutritious than like a rat pup or something like that. So that's something to look forward to. So hopefully he gets on food. This one is the second male pastel that I hatched out. Is also shed out taking a meal. So once he gets another, like I said, 1 or 2, same thing. He'll be available. Relatively inexpensive since everybody's got pastel and there's too much of it. So, these might go as pets or go with me to the Gettysburg show in November. I don't know. But this one has eaten. And this one is a female leopard pastel. And she seems to be the runt of the clutch because I don't even believe she has had her first shed yet, which is weird. She may have, and I missed it, but she hasn't taken a meal yet. So she's in the same boat as that first male. I will probably let her go when she's ready. If anybody's interested, let me know. But she's got to eat. And then here is the best one in the clutch. It's another leopard pastel female. And she's been pounding food. She's had 3 meals already. I really like leopard, so I'm sort of torn on whether or not I want to hold her back, just because it gives me another snake with leopard in it. Unfortunately, it does have pastel, but which I already have a lot of. So I'm on the fence about whether or not to hold her back or let her go, since I can probably produce something like this again in the future, but I really like leopard. So, but if I decide that I'm not going to keep her, she will be on my table, or my part of the table, at the Gettysburg show in November. Or if she gets some meals in, I might post her up on the Instagram, and if somebody wants her, then I can ship her out. That window is getting a little shorter since it's starting to get cold, so maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe. I'll still be able to ship animals. It really depends. It's been a little bit warmer lately, so we'll see. I always go by whatever Redline or whoever I'm shipping with. Lately, it's been Redline, but I usually go by what they recommend. And that will go for a couple animals that I'll show off later. All right, so let's move. Okay, so all right, now I got a thing to keep me on task here. So I do have some new pickups. I've talked about them. I showed them off on other shows. Showed them off on Instagram, but I just really wanted to bring them out and show them off here. More of a time filler, if you will. So here's the first one. I picked this one up when I was at Nathan's a couple weeks ago for the barbecue, or Snaketoberfest rather. I picked this one up from Ron and Alex at AVM Reptiles. She's a decent sized girl. She is an Enchi yellow belly pastel clown. So don't knock pastel and clown. She's a lot more yellow in person, and I do really like her coloration and pattern. And she's 450 grams, something like that, maybe a bit more. But she hasn't really dulled out. Unfortunately, like most times, the camera doesn't do light snakes justice, but you can see the pixelation, the drips, things like that. A little reduced pattern from the Enchi and the clown. But yeah, I like it. It gives me a female clown that'll be ready sooner, than a hatchling would be. And I didn't have one previously. So rather than put my visual clown to her, I think I'm going to put my Ultramel het pied male and go try to make triple hets. I know I'll probably have to test for the het pied ones, but that will only be on the ones that are, the best genetically speaking. So if I hit an all gener, then I'll probably test that for het pied and see, because everything would have to be het clown and het Ultramel. So the idea with that is to pair that, resulting, if it's a male, to pair it to my pastel acid het clown, possible het pied. Hopefully that proves to be het pied, but that's the idea, to just swing for the fences right away, because in the next year or two after that pairing, I'd be able to make clowns and other projects that I have, that aren't specifically focused on the higher end, somewhat gamble of a project. But yeah, I'm really excited to have her. Ron and Alex are great. I highly recommend you check out their morph market. They've got a lot of nice stuff, and they too will be at the Gettysburg Reptile Show in November. So if you're in Pennsylvania, go ahead and check them out. All right, and these are the newest ones. I showed them off last night. Did a short today and a post on Instagram, but they are from Kai at Lucas Landing Royals. I recently picked up a lot of stuff from him. He's really helped me out in my Ultramel Pied project this year. So he sent me he's shaved about 3 years at least off of me working it from double het to double het. So I mean, that's awesome. But he had some things available, and it's always nice to have backup males, right? Just in case stuff doesn't go. So I saw he had a clown available, and it had a gene in it that I don't have. Well, I mean, now I do, but I didn't have it previously. And this guy is in shed, which is unfortunate because he looks a heck of a lot better, darker than he is right now. But it's a male GHI clown, and you can see with GHI, it really, puts more of a normal ball python type pattern to a clown. I mean, you can tell it's a clown because of the head stamp. But yeah, it's really cool, and I want to work this into. I want to pair this to my Mojave hypo. That way, I can get that GHI Mojave and double hets, because hopefully I'll have visual clown hypos. Next year. Fingers crossed if they all prove out. If not, I'll have to revisit that. But I mean, that's something I'm looking at. Plus, it allows me to add, GHI to the genes that are in that girl I just showed in the future if I just want to make straight up clowns and know I'm going to hit clowns. So I'm really happy to have him here. And I can't wait to put him into the rotation. Because if my male clown doesn't go, well, at least I got him. So I mean, it's always nice to have something else that will work in your project. Maybe it's not the most ideal pairing, but it's something that will get you what you need, right? So if you're looking to make clowns, but you have a codom clown that's like a possible head or something like that, and you want to see if you can prove that out, and you miss or they don't pair up, at least you have something else in your collection that you can substitute. Because I've had some things not show interest in each other whatsoever, and I have other ones that I know have shown interest. So it's sort of it's nice to have that backup. And in the event that something catastrophic would happen, these are live animals, so sometimes things happen and they get sick. They pass away, things like that. It's always nice to have something to sort of keep it from being a total loss. I mean, it's unfortunate if you lose an animal, but it doesn't set you too far back as far as working a specific project. All right, and the other one that I picked up from Kai, and I have this in my collection already. I do have a male highway that's a proven breeder, but I didn't have any gravel, and I certainly on the female side, so I picked one up, and this one also happens to be het for clown. And it's known to be gravel because there was no yellow belly complex, anything else in the pairing. And I think it's a pretty decent example. It's pretty easy to tell that it's gravel. I can't wait till she grows up because hopefully I can put my... Actually, I wouldn't even need to. Whatever male I would get out of that clown that I showed earlier, the female, if it has yellow belly in it, so it's a yellow belly clown, maybe pastel, maybe entry, maybe something else, depending on timing, I can take that and put it to her and hopefully, hit a highway clown. But if I don't, I could also hit highways with, various other things that are het for clown. And then, that'd be fine. If I had a male highway with all those codoms in it, the het for clown, well, then I can grow him up, pair it to her, and pray. Or I could put that, back to the female and have a better chance at hitting a visual clown. And hopefully I'd be able to hit, I think, ivories, highways, and gravels. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. I didn't really run that through my head before I said that, so somebody correct me. But I mean, I have a chance to if I miss one time, I have multiple opportunities, provided I hit a male highway something, to try to hit the clown version. So that's nice. I mean, I like her. Hopefully she didn't pee on me, because she just ate before Kai Center. But I mean, I do like her. I like gravel. The project has yellow belly complex stuff has grown on me. I didn't really have much. I have a blackhead yellow belly girl. That's right here. So she's already moved down to a bigger tub. And I have a bumblebee spark. So, I mean, I have that as well. But I didn't really have much yellow belly. And then obviously the highway. So it's nice to have a couple different things that I can work with in that project, create some cool stuff. I think some bypasses. I can make bypasses and ivories next year if I want to. So we'll see. And then whatever spark and yellow belly is. I forget what that is off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, it's just something cool to have. And then, if I have a clown, I can work all that stuff back, and then everything's, a genetic testing nightmare to see what's what when it's not a, actually super form. But I'm really excited, picked up these animals. I said I wasn't going to get more, and obviously I did. But when the price is right and it's genes that are complementary, or something that adds, like I did probably needed another visual clown, and to get GHI with it is a plus, because then I can just stack codoms down the line. But yeah, I'm excited about those. I'm excited about this coming year and the pairings that I have, which will be in a later video that I'll actually put out. I know I've been slacking. It's football season. Summer's happened. Saturdays are kind of difficult, if you want to maintain a social life when you're working through the week. So, when I have really nothing going on a Saturday, I'll try to get, a guest. But sometimes it is what it is. I'm not available, so it's something like this. And I've been slacking on my regular videos as well. And I probably had some stuff that I could have done a video on, but then I just was, didn't feel like putting in the work to make the video, edit the video, do all of that. So I would drop it on somebody else's live, or drop it, on one of the Shedding Your Skin episodes, or when I do Ball Things Considered. So I want to get back to doing all three in addition to the shorts. And I'm trying to work some things out where I can pump out the content like I used to, or at least, on the trajectory where I was. And I know I have been slacking. It's been I think it's a shock sometimes. Oh, he's on a Saturday again. So I want to get better at that, because it gets my brand out there, gets, my animals out there and things like that. And, if you miss 1 week, 2 weeks, that algorithm punishes you. So since I've been doing this, I'm like year 2, but I've lost like 1,000 watch hours just because, I wasn't matching what I was losing. So I want to, not that that's my biggest goal is to get monetized. I mean, I could care less. But it just shows that I'm not putting out, as much stuff as I was before, or if I am, it's not as good as it used to be. And that's saying something, at least to me, because I have nicer stuff. I'm further along. So I'm going to try to fix that. And I have enough snakes now where you're not going to see the same snake, every 2 weeks on a reel or short. I have enough where, I can go a whole month with a different snake per day. So I want to get back into the swing of things and, put content out there, both on YouTube and Instagram. Because even on Instagram, I'm slacking. It's, I got something new. Here you go. Or here's a live that I'm doing. And that's pretty much been it. Aside from some short stories and, sharing other people's stories. But I really haven't been as active as I was when I started. When I started, I wasn't even breeding, and I was just interacting. And I've even stopped doing that. For the most part, and I really need to get back to being active, commenting on posts, sharing stuff that's interesting and things like that. But enough with that. Here's the animals I know that I have for sale. So let's see. And these first ones are breeder size or close to it, or proven breeders that I'm just not. I have stuff with better genetics, and I need to make rack space. So the first one that I have is just a super pastel girl. I have a super pastel Enchi butter ghost growing up. So I really don't need to make, so many pastels. So I'm willing to let her go. She's very nice. She didn't go last year. She was a little smaller, but if you can get her eating regularly, pounded food, you probably pair her this year, if not next year. She's getting a little jumpy. So yeah, she was born in 2020. So she should have been upsized last year. She just was a little slow for me. Went off of food for a bit, but now back on food. So yeah, but if somebody wants her as a pet, I mean, she's nice. She doesn't, she's not nippy or anything like that. So she's available. Another one that I have, she went for me this year. I actually have Oop, she's gonna strike me. Yeah, I read her. She wants nothing to do with me. It's the butter girl that laid for me this year. She's putting the weight back on, so she's gonna go because I also have something with butter in it that's a little more powerful. She's a proven breeder, um, and I also have a butter Mojave Blue Eye Lucy. So I'm willing to let her go as I have other things growing up. Um, so I know we're running short on the shipping window, and these probably will be a little bit more expensive than hatchling to ship. So if you're local to me in Pennsylvania and we can meet up and avoid shipping, that'd be great. I really don't want to bring them to Gettysburg because they're big, take up space. But if I have to, I will. If somebody wants to use them in a breeding project, you might want to get a head start on that rather than halfway through November. Okay, what else is up? Okay. There is also, and I'm not really too concerned if these don't go. If nobody bites on them, the other one that I have up is a black pastel. She's about breeder size. She's the same age roughly as my cinnamon, but my cinnamon is huge, so I'm going to stick with that one. And the projects are similar. If I want to get back into black pastel, I'll just buy something with a head or a visual down the road. But she's nice. She was also on the small side for whatever reason, so I didn't pair her last year. But she's pounding food again, and she should be close enough, to breed, in winter, spring. She might go later. Most of my stuff has gone later. We're looking at like June and July, or July hatching. Is it? Yeah, I think July, August, and September, if I remember. So they were. Everything's been later than normal. Or at least from what I've seen. So those are the three breeder size-ish ones that are available. Like I said earlier, some of those hatchlings are available. They'll be for sale as well. And let's see, there's two more from my collection last year. This one might have somebody expressed interest in it. So if he says he wants it, then this one will be sold. But it's a champagne pastel. He might be a little wobbly, but no issues feeding wise. He's pretty nice. I'm also not doing a great job at supporting him. And he's got some cool little like paradoxing black spots in his pattern. He looks a heck of a lot different than his dad. Now maybe this will all fade out and he'll look like a bell rolled in dirt when he grows up, but he's nice. He's possibly het for lavender, possibly het for pied, but I don't think either are there. That's just based on the pairing. But he'll be available if he's not already sold in a show pickup. And then this one is the last one I have from that flesh that's not a holdback. And she is a pastel because I make too many pastels. She's also got sausage butt. But she might also be het for pied, looking at the markings. Now, I probably won't care if she doesn't sell and she stays here until she grows up and I can prove her out, or at least, get her shed test and see if she is 100%. But she will also be available, so she might be a steal for somebody that that wants to work a pied project for relatively inexpensive. So that's all I have that's available. There might have been more. I have to check my list. I keep on changing up what I make available because I don't really like. It's like I produce something, or I had plans to produce something with it, and I've grown somewhat attached, if you will. But I'd like to see some of these things go to a good home, even if they're just pets. But if they have to stay here, they have to stay here. I didn't get in this to make money. I get in this because I really like snakes, a little too much. So ultimately, if I did this and I didn't make any money, but I just produced nice snakes and gave them away, I'd still be happy. It's an additional, oh, well, I can do this, to pay for itself, or I can do this to, actually make money. That's sort of enticing, but ultimately I really like these things. It's really cool to interact with them. They have different, they're all different. I don't want to say they have, personalities, but, some of them are more friendly or docile. Some of them are more, well, if it's near feeding day, you're not getting close to me. But in the past 2-3 years or whatever, since I expanded, I've gotten into this. I've really enjoyed it. Going through the process. Sometimes you have ups, sometimes you have downs. Last year it was great for me. 5 eggs, 5 babies, 1 holdback, two are already in their new homes, and 2 are still left here. This year, 2 clutches. I think it was 15 eggs, something like that. It wound up only being 4 that actually hatched out. I had a bunch, I think 5, that were maybe more than that, but that were kinked, not fully developed. So I don't know if it was, where exactly the issue was, but I mean, that was a setback because some of the ones that, I had set out to produce a blue-eyed Lucy, and I did, unfortunately, it was very kinked, and I had to euthanize it. Also, I produced a puma something, which also was something that we had set out to produce. And I also had to euthanize it. So there was a couple of animals that, once I saw, it was like, this is, an awful feeling. Because you see this snake that's alive. And, that's one of the downsides about this. It's, there's nothing you can do. If it's, kinked or, it has a deformity or something that's going to prevent it from being able to survive and thrive. If something's got a kink on its tail that's below its cloaca, it's generally not a big thing. Or if it's like really slight, and it can still pass food and everything, that's not bad. But we were talking like, a zigzag, the right angles. And I felt it was such a gut punch. And I know I've talked about this. I don't know if I've gone into as much detail as I am now, but that stunk. To see it in the egg, you get excited, and then as stuff is starting to come out of the egg, you start to realize, well, why is that looking like that? And then you see that. So, it's lessons learned. I've gone and rewired stuff, upgraded infrastructure. Try to control everything that I can. And I don't want to dwell on that. We're looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to the pairings that I have, for 23, 24, and 24, 25. Because I'm really excited. Because a lot of the stuff that I've been showing off for the past year or 2 years is going to be grown up by then and ready to go. So I'm really excited. There's a lot of ultra malpine stuff, clown hypo stuff, clown stuff. It's really when I think I'm going to hit my stride. Or at least if the odds gods like me, I'll produce some stuff that I'm really looking forward to. But yeah, I didn't want to go too long today since I'm just by myself and me rambling. Sometimes people like that, sometimes people don't. Sometimes people get bored with it really quickly. And given that I don't have a guest, it's just me talking to myself, and I don't have a chat to interact with right now. So it's really hard to go longer than like a half an hour. I don't think I've gone much longer on a solo one. Unless it was like a really big ranch or something like that. I was just venting or something like that, at least for a pre-record. But, when I'm just solo live and I have the chat, I can, stretch these out a little bit longer. But with that being said, I'm going to end it here. I will be, don't hold me to it. I'm going to force myself to do it, but I will be doing an episode of All Things Considered for Tuesday morning. And I will be doing a video for Thursday. I don't know what that'll be yet, since I've showed off some animals. Maybe it'll be more in depth about certain genetics, something like that. Maybe like a yellow belly complex overview, or like spider complex part 3. I don't know, but it'll be something in line with what I've done before for the videos that we're going to pick up. And then I believe also on Thursday I'll be hosting the RWO show with Ken from LMK, Stan from Sea of Serpents, Justin from Pressure Pythons, and Nick from 666 Serpents, and Jay from Green Line. So I think it's my turn to host that. So that'll be cool. Do a nice little panel show. Get me back to some of that watch time. It'll be nice. Keep me up late again. And then next Saturday, I also don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a guest. I think somebody is coming to pick up rodents from me, so I'll probably be home. So I might do a panel then. I don't know. It depends if I have enough to fulfill her order, which I might. So we'll see. But I'll make an announcement about each of these things as we get closer to them. I think Tuesday's topic will be like reptile shows, and me ranting about them, the good and the bad. But we'll see. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.